Square Foot Gardening claims that using their method, you can grow a vegetable garden for half the cost, in 80% less space, using 90% less water, 95% fewer seeds, and with 98% less work. Well, stick around because we're going to fact check it. Come on, let's go. Hey, I'm Rick Bickling. Welcome to the How To Gardener, where we give you expert gardening advice to help you plant successfully, grow organically, and live your best gardening life. You know, as gardeners, we're always looking for ways to make our gardens more productive and more efficient. But I've seen some pretty questionable claims. Today we're going to see how realistic the claims of square foot gardening are. Now, I've been practicing square foot gardening for over 10 years with great success, but then again, that guy on television speaking so glowingly about some ointment seems pretty sincere too. So rather than just take my word for it, let's quantify things. Of the claims that square foot gardening makes, using 80% less space is key. Less space means less area to water, weed, plant, and care for. Different vegetables reach different mature sizes, and an important factor in how much you can successfully grow in a given area is plant spacing. First, let's look at carrots, which are planted 3 inches apart. With the traditional row garden, after tilling the soil, you would hoe a row, in this case 4 feet long, then another row typically 3 feet away. That gives us 12 square feet of land. Next, you'd scatter seeds along the row, and as they grow, thin them to eventually be spaced 3 inches apart for a total of 16 carrots. With a square foot garden, we make a box that is 4 feet long by 4 feet wide for 16 square feet. After filling it with 6 inches of Mel's mix, we'll place a grid on top, dividing it into 16 squares. Let's take a closer look at one of these 1 foot by 1 foot squares. First, divide the square into quarters, then poke 4 holes in each of these squares and plant our seeds to end up with 16 carrots. So square foot gardening allows you to grow 16 carrots in only 1 square foot compared to the same 16 carrots in 12 square feet in a traditional row garden. A space savings of 91%. Beets are planted 4 inches apart. With a row garden, you'll hoe your rows, let's say 3 feet long, for 9 square feet of land. Scatter the seeds, thin them to be 4 inches apart for a total of 9 beets. Using the same square foot garden, let's look at another 1 by 1 foot square. Divide the square into 9 equal segments and plant a seed in each to end up with 9 beets. 9 beets in 1 square foot compared to 9 square feet in a traditional row garden, a space savings of 89%. Lettuce is planted 6 inches apart. Let's use 2 foot long rows this time for 6 square feet of land. Scatter the seeds and thin them for a total of 4 lettuce. With our square foot garden, divide the square into 4 equal segments and plant a seed in each to end up with 4 lettuce. 4 lettuce in 1 square foot compared to 6 square feet in a traditional row garden, a space savings of 83%. Peppers are planted 12 inches apart. A 1 foot row for 3 square feet of land gives us 1 pepper plant. With our square foot garden, a single square gets 1 pepper plant. 1 pepper plant in 1 square foot compared to 3 square feet in a traditional row garden for a space savings of 66%. So there you go. Square foot gardening uses, on average, about 80% less space to grow the same amount of vegetables as a row garden. Fact check? True. Hey, you know, tomatoes are another great crop that grows during the same season as green beans. Click on this link right up here and it'll take you right to our tomato planting guide too.